everyone. So this is our 10th class, that is on properties of Z transformations. In our last couple of classes, we have studied about how to define Z transformation, what is Z transformation, and how Z transformation, whenever we are getting the transformation of a discrete time domain sequence into a corresponding frequency domain sequences, studied about whenever we are transforming a discrete time domain sequence into frequency domain sequences, how that system can be stable with the formation of region of convergence, that is ROC, and how the ROCs, that means the values of Z, is being defined for each and every sections of the Z transformations. It is always also being defined in our last class, in that of the lecture 9. Now in the lecture 10 we have studied about the properties of Z transformations. That means whenever we are transforming a discrete time domain sequence x of n into its corresponding Z domain, frequency spectrum, that is x of Z, how the properties is formed, and according to that properties how the ROCs are being changed with respect to those properties, that will be studied in our now class. So there are several properties are there in Z transformation. The properties are, there are 6 properties. Many more properties are also there, but we are confined here only for 6 properties. First one is linearity property. That means the system, so the signals are linear in nature according to those transformations, that should be always in linear in nature. Time shifting property with respect to that of the value of n, discrete time, if it is shifted with respect to delayed or advanced, how the Z transformation x of Z is being mapped with respect to that changes of time shifting, that will be defined by the time shifting property. Scaling property, if a sequence is being multiplied by some scale power to the power discrete time n, how that a to the power n, how that portion of a is being changed with respect to that of the Z transformation, that is being defined there. Differentiation property tells us that what are the difference if we differentiate that xz Z transformation with respect to Z, how the time domain sequence is being changed. That means for what type of change on that of the discrete time domain sequence, the xz, that is the Z transformation, is being changed with respect to its differentiation. It should be defined by this differentiation property. Then there will be conjugation property, how the conjugation is being done on that of the time domain signal as well as for frequency domain signal also. That means if time conjugation is being applied on time domain sequence x of n, how it is differed in Z domain x of Z and vice versa. That is for conjugation property. And last one is time reversal property. For a normal sequence, if its Z transformation is that one xz, if we do the time reversal or time folded application on that of discrete time domain sequence, how it will be changed in that of our Z transformation, that will be defined there. So according to those, there are 6 number of properties are there for that of the Z transformation. So we'll learn about in details about these 6 properties. The first one is linearity property. According to linearity property, the notation is that x of n, whenever is being transformed by Z transformation, it becomes x of Z, and its ROC will be defined by Rx. Let us suppose its ROC will be defined by Rx whenever the system is signal is simply defined by x of n, its Z transformation is x of Z. Now let us suppose we have 2 individual signals. One is x1n applied to that of the system, one is x1n, another is x2n. Now individually, if the signals are applied on that Z transformation, the outputs are normally defined as x1z, and for x2n it will be x2z. So that is for individual section of that of the input signals. Now if we take a linear combination of those signals, linear combination means the signals combination will be defined by ax1n plus bx2z, x2n. If we take a linear combination of those signals individually, then if I apply Z transformation on that whole combination, if its Z transformation is simply defined according to the same way that defines the linearity property. That means whenever we are taking the linear combination of x1n and x2n with respect to the constant of a and b, its Z transformation also defined linearly. That means Z transformation is also defined by ax1z plus bx2z. In that way it will be defined. And one more thing, whenever we are doing the linearity property, the shifting or changing of ROC will be defined in that way. For x1n, whenever it is being transformed individually to x1 z, let us suppose its ROC will be defined as Rx of 1, and for x2n, whenever it is being transformed to x2z, its ROC will be defined by Rx2. Now if I apply linearity property on those two, common ROC will be defined by the ROC of that linear section of that of the input sequence. In that way, the linearity property of Z transformation is being defined. Note that ROC of the combined sequence may be larger than either of the ROCs. It can be, it could be. If Rx is an individual ROC, then Rx1 or Rx2 will be individual ROCs for x1n and x2n. Then ROC of the combined sequence may be larger. That means it is not defined that it will be a closer view of that of the sections of x1n and x2n, but it could be a larger, maybe a larger sequence than of the either of ROCs. Now this would happen if some poles and zeros cancels occurs. In that way it can be defined like this. We have a sequence, let us suppose we have a sequence of x of n as a to the power n un plus or minus a to the power n un minus 1. For the first sequence, the circle is at A, having a radius of average circle of radius A. For the second one, it is also having a circle of radius A. As both the sequences are right-sided, because the first sequence starts from the value of 0 and the second equation starts from the value of n equals to capital N. So both are right-sided sequence. Both are defined by e to the power n. So both has a circle of A. That means both have a pole of z equals to A, but have a ROC is defined for z is greater than A for both the sequences. Now in the combined sequence, the pole of z cancels with the pole at z equals to A for both the sequences. So combined sequence ROC is commonly defined as, except value of A z equals to 0, the entire portion of z, entire region of z or entire portion of z will be defined as the ROC of the combined sequence of the sequences. So in that way it can be defined. Now property number 2, that is time shifting property. Time shifting property tells us that if the sequence x of n is there and its z transformation is simply defined as x of z. Now if I take a time shifted discrete time sequence as x of n minus n naught, so its z transformation is simply defined as the initial z transformation x of z, but it should be multiplied with z to the power minus of n naught. That means power of z will be minus of that amount of shift. Here amount of shift is defined by n equals to n naught, so the power of z is minus of that amount of shift. So z to the power minus n naught will be the multiplying factor with the original z transformation. That defines our ROC z transformation property for time shifting. Here also it can be defined that the original ROC and the afterward, whenever we are doing the time shifting property of that of the ROC, time shifting property of the z transformation, both the sections ROC will be same. There will be no changes of ROCs is being maintained there. So here we have to follow some rules. If positive the sequence, if we do the positive sequence, it will be shifted to right, basically in the right sections. If a negative the sequence means xn minus n naught, it will be shifted to left of that of the sequence. Now the ROC can change the new terms, may add. That means we have to, whenever we are doing the time shifting property, we could add or remove some poles values according to that of the values of ROC. It should be added. It can be added with z to the power 0, or it can be added with z to the power infinite. For example, we have a z transformation x of z equals to z inverse into 1 by 1 minus 4, 1 by 4 z inverse, where the ROC is defined as z is greater than 1 by 4. So what will be its original z transformation time domain sequence? The original time domain sequence will be defined by x 1 by 4 to the power n minus 1 into u n minus 1. Basically the sequence starts from the value of n equals to 1 and rightward onwards. So in that way it can be defined as the property of time shifting. The next property is the scaling property. That can also be defined as the multiplication by exponential property. What is it actually defines as? If a sequence is being multiplied by a to the power n or z naught to the power n. Z naught is a simple constant value. If the sequence is being multiplied by z naught whole to the power n, then its z transformation will be simply defined as x z naught, what is the amount of value of z naught? It should be power of -1, then it will be multiplied by z. Basically it will be defined by x of capital X of z by z naught. The amount of scaling z naught will be defined by in the denominator portion of that of the z. Z by that factor will be nothing but the scaling factor for that of the property. So here also whatever the change or modified value of ROC, that is nothing but defined as the original ROC multiplied by the value of that z naught. If the original ROC is z is greater than 5, then it will be defined by z is greater than 5 into z naught. That means the original value of ROC is simply multiplied with that of the factor. Here it is being defined for the scalar factor. What are the rules and regulations? The ROC is scaled by z naught as is being defined there. All the poles and zero locations are scaled. So location of poles and zeros are also being changed there. So each and every value of poles and zeros are being defined by scaled property. If the value of z naught is positive, then z plane will be shrinks or expands. If the value of z naught is positive, it will be expands. If the value of z naught is negative, it will be reduced. And if the value of z naught is a complex number with unit magnitude, it rotates. In that way it will be defined that. So let us suppose we have a sequence of x of u of n. Normally z transformation is defined by 1 by 1 minus z inverse. Now with respect to this, if it is being multiplied by a to the power of un, its z transformation will be defined by 1 by 1 minus a z inverse. So in place of z, it will be simply defined by z by a. So in that way it will be defined by 1 by 1 minus a z inverse. Simply in the previous value, whenever we are getting the value of u of n, its ROC is z is greater than 1. And whenever we are defining the z transformation of a to the power of n un, its z transformation will be simply defined as mod z is greater than 1 into a. Basically mod z is greater than of a. So in that way it will be defined by that property of z transformation, that is property of scaling property. Next property is differentiation property. What is the differentiation property? Tells us that whenever a sequence is defined by x of n, its z transformation is simply defined by x of z. But if that sequence is being multiplied by n, that means n into x of n, its z transformation will be simply defined as minus of z, then derivative of that original z transformation. That means n of x of n, that means x of n is being multiplied by a single n, is simply defined by minus z into first order derivative of d of first order derivative of x of z with respect to z. In that way it will be defined. The ROC will be never changes according to this rule of property of differentiation property. Example, we can do the example of this one. Suppose we want to get the inverse z transformation of xz equals to log 1 plus z inverse, where ROC is defined by z is greater than a. Now if I do the derivative of this one with respect to z, what we will get? d of xz by dz is nothing but defined by, according to the formula for differentiation of logarithm, it will be simply defined as az inverse by 1 plus az inverse. So what it actually defines? dx of z by dz, if it is being multiplied by minus z, it is simply defined as n into un. So in that way it could be defined in that expression also. So similarly, if a sequence of u of n is there, we have a sequence of u of n, that is in step function, its z transformation is simply defined by 1 by 1 minus z inverse. Now if I want to find out the z transformation of n un, it is certainly defined by minus of z dt z of 1 by 1 minus z inverse. So in that way it will be defined by or changed by that of the property of differentiation property. Now the fifth property, that is the property of conjugation. So we have to apply the conjugate property for that one. So let us suppose we have a normal sequence of x of n is there, whose normal z transformation is being defined by x of z. Now if I do the conjugate, if I do apply conjugate property on that sequence x of n as x star n, and then we apply z transformation on that sequence, what will be its transformation in z transformation? It will be simply defined as conjugation of x of z with respect to the conjugation of z also. That means it will be simply defined as x conjugate within bracket z conjugate. That means conjugation is not only applied on that z, but it should be applied on overall z transformations also. So in that way, conjugation property tells us about that conjugate property. That means if we apply the conjugation property on that single discrete time sequence, it will be applied on that of the conjugation is being applied on z transformation as conjugation not only applied on z only, but it will be also applicable to that of x of z also. So in that way, conjugation tells us that property. Example, in that way, if of x of z is there, according to simple definition of z transformation as summation x of n z to the power of minus n, then if I apply conjugation property on that z transformation, it is simply defined by the conjugation of that one. That means conjugation of x of n as well as it will be multiplied by z to the power n as applied to that of the conjugation property. Now if I apply conjugation of z also, what it actually does, it's simply defined as summation of x conjugate n followed by z to the power n conjugate. So it will be simply defined as x conjugate n into z to the power of minus n, as z is a complex quantity. So it will be simply defined as z transformation of that x conjugate n. So that is the simple proof of that theorem also. That means in the right hand side, if I apply z transformation of s conjugate n, in the left hand side will be simply defined as conjugation of z transformation, that is x conjugate of conjugation of z. That means not only conjugate of n is being applied, z is being applied, but it will be also conjugated of that z transformation also. So in both ways it will be conjugate. So in that the conjugation property tells us that how the conjugation is being varied from a time domain sequence corresponding to its frequency domain analysis, that is for z transformation. So in that way, conjugation property tells us. The last property is nothing but defined as a time reversal property. Time reversal means whatever the sequence are there with respect to that of the y-axis, it will be simply opposite to that of the x-axis, simply opposite to that one. With respect to y-axis, it will be simply mirror image with respect to both of. Our sequence is right-handed sequence. Whenever we are applying time reversal property, it will be simply defined by left-hand sequence. Similarly, if our sequence is there mixture of left-hand and right-hand sequence, both sided, it will be simply converses. Right side becomes left side and left side becomes right side to that of the sequence changes. So in that way, the properties are there for time reversals also. If a sequence x of n is there, whose z transformation is being defined by x of z. Now if I apply time reversal property of that of x of n as x of minus n, so its z transformation is also defined by x of z of inverse is there. Application of the time reversal on n, that is becomes minus of n, becomes z of inverse. So as z is becomes inverse of there, that means 1 by z is there, certainly the ROC is also defined by reciprocal of that of the original ROC. That means ROC is simply defined as 1 by Rx. That means if the previous ROC is defined by z is greater than 1, so in that case the ROC will be defined by z is less than 1, simply opposite to that of the original one. In place of z will be simply defined by 1 by z, whatever the changes are there in place of z inverse x of z. That means simply we can say the ROC is simply inverted with respect to its original ROC. Whatever the original ROC is there, in this case it will be simply inverted original of that of the sequence, because it's a property of time reversal property. For example, if a sequence is there, x of n is there, if a sequence x of n is there as un, its z transformation is x of z is 1 by 1 minus z inverse, where the ROC is z is greater than 1. But if I apply conjugate time reversal on that of un, that is u of minus n, then if I apply z transformation, it will be simply defined by 1 by 1 minus z. So z inverse will be simply become as z. Similar to that of the ROCs also. In the previous ROC for un, if the ROC is defined by z is greater than 1, in this case for u of minus n time reversal property, z is simply defined by, the ROC is simply defined as mod z is less than 1. So in that way, the z transformation is being inverted, ROC is being inverted with respect to its original z transformation. So in that way, the properties of z transformations are there. So in that way, we are covering all the 6 properties as in that way. The first property is linearity property, second property is time shifting property, third property is our multiplication by exponential, that is our scaling property. Fourth property is our differentiation property. Fifth property is the conjugation applied on that of the property. And the sixth one is nothing but time reversal or time folded property. So in that way, we are covering all the properties of Z transformations. Okay, thank you.